Hi, it's Handy Val. Today I'm working on my 1992 Mercedes Benz convertible, the R129. I'm going to be working on changing the driver's side headlight bezel. As you can see here, it's not in the greatest shape. It's not broken, but it's not looking good either. Now if we compare it to the other side, you can tell this one has already been changed and it looks really good. So I wanted to make a video here to help other R129ers fix their headlight bezel so their car could look sharp. Okay, so here's a close-up of the bezel. As you can see, it's not broken, but I think it would look a lot better with a new one. And here you go. Anyways, not a very simple task, but certainly doable. So let's get to it. Alright, so this is the area obviously we're working on. We're working on this front light bezel. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to protect your bumper. Okay, so I've got some painter's tape. I'm going to lightly sort of tape it up because you're going to be moving stuff in and out, and you don't want to make sure, you want to certainly make sure that you're not going to scratch anything. First thing I like to do is remove the wiper. Okay, not very hard. You're going to kind of swing it back, and it reveals a bolt. Okay, this is usually you could do it by hand. In this case I could do it by hand, so that makes it certainly a lot easier. So you're going to remove the bolt. At the same time it should come out. Now what you're going to see also, you're going to see this rubber tubing here. You're going to want to pull it. Okay, kind of that's where the windshield washer fluid is coming from. We'll pull it out. Okay, there could be a lot left in there. You can try pulling the whole thing out. Makes it a little bit easier. You're going to want to pull on it, and there you go. Okay, pulls out. You're going to want to put it aside with the nut. Okay, I want to see because you certainly do not want to lose them. Okay, now that you've got these two guys out, the next step would be a few steps, 2 different ways. Let's try to remove this side lamp. Okay, now if you come in from the side over here. Okay, so we're going to need to remove this side light here. Now it's really hard to look into it, but once I pull it out, you're going to be able to see there's a clamp on the inside of it. Okay, you're going to want to go in there, and I'll show it to you when I pull it out. Okay, it's actually quite an easy thing to do. You just got to be able to locate it, and you'll be able to see it once I pull it out. Okay, let's get to that in there. I'll hold it with my hand. This hand works, whatever hand works, and you're going to want to, when you get the clamp, you're going to want to pull towards this way, not towards the outside. It's quite simple. The whole thing is just going to come out. There you go. If you see it, there it is. See the way it just comes out? It just comes out. I'll quickly show you what I mean. So have a look over here. Have a look over here. So that's the clamp I'm referring to, and you just had to kind of just push it in, and it just were to pull out. Now, if you're going to notice over here, here's the plug. Can you see the plug over here? Okay. Come over here to see the plug. And we're just going to unplug it so we can take this thing out. Okay. It's a little stubborn, but it will do. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to remove this piece over here. Okay, now there's two screws holding it in. Here's one of them. We're going to remove this one. Okay, quite simple to do. Once again, well, I should say this piece does not get removed. And there's another one over here, so come have a look on this side. There's the other screw hiding out in there. Okay, so you're going to want to take that screw and loosen it up as well. Okay, you're going to want to remove it. So you want to obviously make sure that you're doing this correctly, and you're going to want to place them properly. So this would have been the long screw going on this end, and on this other end we would have been talking about the smaller screw. So you don't want to forget that. So when you drop them off, so when you actually put them down, what I like to do here is I'm going to tape it, right? When I pull this out, I'm going to tape this screw to this hole and tape it to that one so I don't forget it, okay? So next step is let's try to take this piece out as best we can, and we got to get it out from this thread here, okay? It's not that it's very difficult, but this is a very sensitive part of what we're trying to do here. So there's a little bit of a clip over there, and let's try to take this piece out. just be awfully careful, awfully careful. There you go. Okay? And you're just going to let it hang here because it's being hung. It's being hung by a rubber piece, okay? You're just going to let it hang, and that's why we have the tape there, so you don't want to scratch anything. Okay? See me tape this part to it so we don't forget it. Just do that. And you do the same thing with the little one on this side, okay? And you don't want to lose these guys because that'll be another problem, okay? All right, so that kind of exposes a lot of what we're trying to do right now, and we're pretty close. Now we're going to want to take this rubber piece off. Okay, it easily comes off from this end. Okay, now you're going to notice if you come in from over here, it's got these little sort of clips over there. You see these little clips? You're going to want to try to be awfully careful when you're taking them out, okay? Got clips all around, okay? A few clips all around, all around, all around. So you're going to try to be careful taking those out. I realized instead of taking this piece out, which is a little bit hard to do with this guy kind of in its way. So I've got my little plastic remover, and you're going to remove these clips. Now again, be gentle. Be gentle. Take the extra couple of seconds to remove them. Okay. Alright, let's see how that goes. Alright, so there you go. That's the piece that comes out. You want to do the same thing over here. So you want to, again, use some leverage. Again, but awfully be very careful when you're pulling these out. And there you go. Okay? Now these two pieces, this piece should just come out quite easily. It's kind of a little bit stuck in there. It's a little bit of a groove for it. There you go. Now it's out of its way. I'm going to put that on the floor as well with these two pieces there. So what I'm doing actually, I mean, I know you could pull these pieces out. I'm trying not to. Okay, so you could sort of still, you know, the rubber is flexible enough where you could kind of just, you know, work your way around it and just try to get the piece out. Okay, just, you know, just be careful. You don't want to break the rubber as you're taking the piece out, but it certainly does come out. It's flexible enough, and you could certainly remove it. Takes a little bit. Some of these ones are a little bit more stuck than others. Right, so this is a lot tougher than I thought to remove. When I did the other one, seemed to be a little bit easier. So let's just try to take the cage out first, right? The whole light assembly out. So there's a bolt over here. So we're gonna have to get to that. Okay, and if you come over on this side, there's two bolts over there. Okay. So we're just going to want to take those two out. Looks like you need an 8mm, so I'm using a ratchet set to remove it. So again, it's kind of a bit tight quarters there, but you could certainly, I can get my ratchet in there, and you're going to want to remove it. Okay, tightening it, and there you go. It's not very hard. And again, you certainly do not want to lose the screw. There you go, I've kind of loosened it up. I'm going to want to do a little bit more. So I did it with the ratchet. Now I'm kind of using my finger here to kind of get to it. Okay, seems like it's pretty long. Kind of leave that. Alright, so that's it. So I've kind of pulled this one out. I'm going to get to the other two on this side. These are a lot more, a lot easier to kind of take care of. So these two are a lot easier here. Don't necessarily need to film this. Okay, pretty simple. I'm going to do both of them. Both of them with the ratchet set. And these two out on this side. Now you could tell they're different, right? These two compared to the other one, right? We're talking about difference. So again, I think these are going to be obvious that these two go on this side. This goes on this side. But again, you don't want to forget that. Okay, so next up, I think now that we've got it, we want to try to pull out the whole assembly here, okay? Now, it's being held together. There's a few things now. So we certainly have removed the bolts, but there's two things kind of holding it together right now, okay? There's the electrical cable, so you're going to want to disconnect that. It's going to be an easy one. You're going to want to go back here, go find it, and disconnect it, okay? I'm going to find it. I don't think I necessarily need a video for this one. So there's the disconnected. I've disconnected that piece. And now you're going to notice, hey, there's something else holding it together, okay? And there is, okay? So you're going to want to guide yourself out from over here. You're saying, what else is holding this thing together? What else is holding it? And if you come all the way down here, you're going to see it. It's another of the windshield wiper rubber. So that's a simple one to pull out. You're going to want to pull that piece out. So now you can sort of get the appreciation of why I've put tape over here. Okay, you're going to take this piece and squeeze it out. Okay, that's it. Whole assembly does come out. Nice and easy. We have it out, folks. So now we actually could certainly make sense of this whole case and the rubber and everything around it. I think it now becomes a lot easier to do and to manage, right? So you can now start to pull those pieces out from the back, and now it starts to be a lot easier to kind of take them all out without actually doing it. So you take the back rubber piece out first, and then you get to the front end of the rivet and just work around it. Okay? Do the same thing over here. Take this thing out, work around it, get around over there, work around it, and you're going to get the whole thing is now out. Okay, so that's it. Now you're going to notice what you got over here is you have this piece here is the actual end, and we're going to need to kind of try to unclamp. There's two clamps over here. See the two clamps? And then there's another clamp, a couple of clamps, sorry, there's two other clamps at the bottom. Now, you don't need to remove this piece, but let's go ahead and take it out anyway. Okay, seems like it could maybe cause some interference, so let's pull it out. There you go. I'm kind of trying to pull these guys out. It's going to be easy enough. I don't think you have to take this out, but why not take it out? Maybe if you loosen it up enough, probably will be better. Okay, so now let's try to get these clips out. Again, be very careful here. You don't want to break anything. Again, so maybe I don't need to take this one out. Let's see if I could work around it by pushing this piece. I don't think I could work around it, so let's take it out. Just can't believe how long these things are. All right, there you go. Easy enough. Easy enough. All right, so you're going to put those down. Again, don't forget where they're coming from. So here you go. You're going to kind of push that in a little bit, lift it up. There you go. You've done it, right? This side. Now we're going to do the same thing over on the front side. Two clips. You're just going to want to lift them just barely a little bit. Just enough to kind of get them over. Again, these cars are, depending on this is a 19-year-old car that I've got here. So again, you just want to be careful with the clips that you kind of get them out. Try to do them just by hand. I wouldn't use any special tools. Okay. So there you go. We're kind of slowly squeezing this thing out. Slowly. Okay. Should start to come out. And I think we've got it. That's it. So that's the old piece. There's a little bit of wax, I guess, at one time I put. Now, this actually is, yeah, it's too bad. It is a Bosch, but we need to replace it. So it is certainly sun damaged, and will need to be a replacement. So let's have a look. Let's compare it to the new one. There you go. There's the old one. There's the new one. Quite a difference in look. All right, so we need to take these pieces out because obviously the new one did not come with them. Okay, so the little rivets. Again, you're just going to have to try your hardest to kind of try to remove them. So it's always easier. I mean, there are two pieces. There's a pin, and you're going to want to take the pin out first. It could be easier doing that, but whatever works for you, okay? So you want to try to take them all out. I wouldn't say I have any special technique to remove these, but this tool here, which is kind of one of those panel type tools, panel remover type tools, did come in helpful. But again, I think you're just going to have to kind of improvise, try some other different techniques. You know, here's one that's left here that's kind of a stubborn one. It's kind of the very last one. You know, it's again, they are hard to remove, but I don't think necessarily you need all of them, but you should try to at least take a few of them out. So here you go. I think this. So here's the headlight. So what I ended up doing, I ended up using kind of a microfiber rag to clean all around, all right, as well as to clean the bottom here. Okay, because these are really hard to reach places. Now this is the light assembly, and you will actually be able to tell that it does look a lot better now. Obviously I don't have the before and after, but it was awfully dirty down here, and you are able to see this once it's on the car. Okay, that's one thing that I've done. The second thing that I've done as well, with the rubber, I've actually used a rubber sort of moisturizer type. I used a product called Rubber Care. Not a bad thing to do. You know, this is a piece of neglected rubber. Again, when's the next time you're actually going to do something like this? It'll be a very long time. Okay, and now the next thing to worry about are the clips. Now I started putting some clips on, but I didn't get to all of them. So I just want to show you, you know, what to or how to do it, right? So you're going to see over here. So let's do this one here, okay? See that? You're going to want to kind of cover it off, and then okay, and then what you're going to want to do is you want to get this clip, okay, without the little, call it the nail, okay, this clip, and you're going to kind of want to, you know, just going to make sure, if you can see the way this thing goes, kind of goes over it. You're going to kind of want to get this piece into it, and then into the bezel part as well. Now again, you're going to have to fiddle with it to get it just right. And there you go. I kind of didn't do it right. And then you can take it out, put it back in, and try it out. Okay, so again, this is, again, you're going to want to do it for, I believe there's like 6 or 7 of them for every single one of them. Okay. Last piece is there, as you can sort of see, the rubber's in. The nail part is there, and you're just going to kind of squeeze that in there. You're going to realize that this is going to be a real nice fit. You're going to want to squeeze it in. Just make sure you're not missing anything. Real nice fit. You're going to look at it from the back there as well, make sure it's kind of in there. You know, all the little rivets are properly fit. Okay, so now this is now done. Now the next step that we're going to do is we're going to want to put, I'm going to need to clean my hands here. Now we're dealing with the finished product here. Okay, next step is now you got to put the bezel onto the unit. So you got to make sure, I mean, you remember the clips, you remember the rods, you know, there's also these side rails, both sides. Again, you just got to fiddle with it, and then don't forget the clips on the top as well. Everything kind of has to go in properly. Looks like I've got it lined up, and I'm going to start squeezing it in, and hopefully I get to start getting the clicking sounds coming in. And there you go, I'm starting to get them. I feel good. And this one seems to be okay too. I got the top ones here. Not yet. There you go. This one in. That one's now in. And the 2 ones on the bottom. Looks like I got it. So certainly looks like I do have it properly set up. That's it. So it looks like we're good. Pop it. All right. So the next step is, you remember the little plastic piece here. So we're going to put that piece over there with the kind of like the 2 screws. I'm going to feather it in first with my hand, and then I'm going to tighten it. First thing you're going to need to do is, you know, again, we're going to need to put the wiper tubing back and the motor tube as well. So the first thing though, I mean, you may want to be inclined to first try to put this on, but it's a lot easier to first try to thread this into the plastic hole. Okay, so let's try that. That's it. Okay. All right, so what I'm using here You may want to come down to this level here. I'm actually using this tweezer to kind of help me with the tubing. I can get my fingers in there. So it seems like I've got it. Looks like it's a pretty good connection. And now we're just ready to kind of squeeze it right back into place. Make sure everything kind of works properly here. Looks like we've got everything there. Okay, now the other thing, we've got the cable on. Now I find it a bit easier to actually put the whole light on and then get to the cable. It's actually quite a simple thing to do. And I think you just got to guide yourself with it. Okay, and with the flashlight you're going to be able to see it and get it in relatively easily. Now you're going to want to attach the whole light component, and you want to line it up again with the larger screw on this side, and then over here you've got the smaller screws. If you come over by this side, again you're just lining them up, and then you're going to use your ratchet set to do them. Now they're a little bit tricky to line up, okay? So that's the no. All right. So next up, now that you've fully secured the light fixture with the 3 bolts, next up we're going to put this this little trim piece back. And you want to make sure you everything kind of fits the holes properly. Okay. It's supposed to go underneath the light fixture, so that's actually where it goes. And if you remember, we kind of used the kind of taped these so we don't lose them. I'm going to get them back out. Okay, I'm going to screw them in. Sure it's proper here. The rubber is around it. Doing this. Alright, so we're going to tighten this one up on this side. Okay, and the same thing now on this side. Remember, this is the slightly smaller one. Line it up properly. Okay. Again, not very hard to do. Just got to make sure you find the hole there. And we did. And then you just kind of screw that in. Put the little plastic side piece here. It's going to be pretty simple. Kind of squeeze that in there. Remember, we got the 2 clips here. So the trick here is first put in the blank one, right? And then you go in with the actual nail piece, right? So squeeze that one in there. Pretty simple. Do the same with the other one. Squeeze that in there, and then you go in with these guys, and it should be pretty straightforward from there. And that one kind of just goes in. Alright, so now we practically have everything set up. The only thing that's remaining right now is the side light. Let's put the side light back on. Next piece is you got to now put the side light on. Now you see the socket piece, a little easier to get to it from over here, and you're going to want to kind of squeeze that in there. Okay, not too hard to do. Okay, and once you've got it in there, feeling good. Now we got to put this piece back on. Now again, you see the 2 clamps here. See these 2 little pieces here? They're supposed to go into the side of the light here, so you got to be careful. Put those pieces in first, and then you're going to kind of just push it in. So what I'm going to do, try to clean up a couple of my fingerprints here because it'll be hard to get to afterwards. And we're going to just squeeze it in, and this should just clamp on. You should just hear a click. There you go. And we're done, folks. This is the final remaining piece. Before we actually try the light, let's just make sure everything's properly connected. So I like to first put the windshield washer tube on first. Okay, it's going to kind of just be a pressure piece. Squeeze that in there. Okay. Make sure you kind of get it all the way as much as possible. Twist it if you can. In this case you do. And now you're just going to have to get this piece into it. Okay, remember that piece, and then we get the the nut back on it. Okay, that's just, the nut was just manually put on. I did not use a wrench, socket set, or anything of the likes. Squeeze that as far as it goes. And then once you've got it on, so you kind of feel good, it's not going anywhere, certainly not. And then you're going to kind of just clamp it on. And that's done. Alright, so let's, we're going to remove the tape here, and then we're going to just turn the lights on just to make sure both the lights are working. That's obviously, you know, a very important part. This is obviously just cosmetics, the bezel part, but we still want to make sure that we didn't, you know, accidentally trip the light or shake the light and burn up the filament. So let's try that on next. Step, let's make sure both lights work, the headlight as well as the side light. Are they on? Looks like they're on. Alright, well thanks for watching, and hopefully this video helped you out.